Hi, welcome to this week's reading of the Ocean Oracle for the week beginning the 25th of February 2018. I'm Sue Marty, creator of the deck, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in and having a listen. So setting the intention for messages or stories or information we may need to help us get through this week ahead. Set that intention and see what comes. Okay, nothing jumping out. And so spread the deck. 2, kelp, strength. All right, cool. Let's see. So, the story. The diver was tangled in the kelp. The long arms of this giant seaweed spread out in all directions. He could not quite get clear of it, yet intuitively knew he was in no physical danger. He surrendered into the space and just flowed with its movement. He eventually followed one segment of the kelp down to where it was anchored, and as he did so, he noticed all the other arms anchored to that point as well. Down below the surface, this giant kelp was anchored to a rock, which in turn was held firmly by the ocean floor. The kelp entrusted the rock to provide a secure base so that it could extend itself outwards, feeling and growing in many different directions. It did not question the security of the rock, it simply had faith in its anchor. The safe anchor allowed for the kelp to follow its own path, gathering sustenance from its surroundings to nurture its well-being. The message is, draw strength from a solid anchor. Follow your thoughts, your travels, your life back to the base where you gather strength. No matter how tangled you get in your life, know there is strength there, lying just below the surface. Disentangle yourself with intent from your situation to see a clear path forward. The act of surrender may be your strongest option. Surrender into your heart space to gain the strength and clarity you need. Yeah. And that one, I find that one really kind of soothing and supportive and strong, and because like if you've ever watched seaweed, you can see it floating and it kind of goes all these different directions, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of stays in that path and is allowed to move within its not necessarily safety or boundaries, but within its path. And it, one of the hardest things I think in this life is to feel like you don't have any connection or any grounding or anything that's got your back. And I think this card reminds us that on some levels, we have on some levels, like one, we can have our own back, and also the universe is looking out for us. We may not be able to see it, it may be under the surface somewhere, but we have a solid base that we have come from, and sometimes we can forget that. So this card reminds us to kind of look back and where do you gather your strength? What does support you? What does anchor you? And what has allowed you to kind of go forth and be the person that you are now? How have those ties allowed that? And yeah, so I guess in this week going forward, I guess know that you're secure, like you have a security and you may not be able to see it, but just trust it's there, holding you and guiding you and allowing you to move in the directions that you need to move. All right, thanks again for tuning in and see you soon.